Hey guys, Ricardo here and welcome to another blog tech tips. And of course today I'm going to show you to troubleshoot issues where your tablet is just not coming on. And of course this has to do with the generic Chinese tablets. It can also work with regular tablets as well. But the focus will be on the generic Chinese tablets, alright? So of course it's a generic Chinese tablet. You can pick them up. They usually have weird names. There's a whole bunch of them, guys. But of course here we have this one. All right, so in cases where the device is just not coming on, what we're going to do is just to show you how to deal with the issue and how to fix the problems with your device not coming on. Now, usually if the device is not being powered on, number one, make sure you're not making an error. Make sure that you're actually pressing the power button. Now, one thing I realized with this tablet, I don't know if it's the shape or where the buttons are placed, but of course the buttons were at the side like this. This is the portrait mode. There's a camera here. For some reason, I was thinking the power button was this button here, but actually on closer inspection, the power button is this third one here. Usually the volume buttons are at the top and the third one down is the power button. Common mistake that can happen even from experience, that you might be smashing this button, realizing that it's not the power and this is the power. All right, so make sure that you're actually pressing the power button. You should look out for the power logo or just the button that's actually the power button. All right, so that's the first one there. Might be simple, but you never know. All right, so if the device is not coming on and you're pressing the power button, one thing that could be happening is that your device might be in a situation where it's not getting power. Now, of course, here we have the adapter brick. This is a USB type C charger. First thing I want to do is to make sure that this cable is good. One of the best thing to do, if your cable is shorted here, meaning it's bent here and becoming frayed, it could be that this cable is bad. So the first thing I wanted to do is to change out the USB section itself. These are common. You can find them in other devices, so you can switch out one. Doesn't matter what the color is, go ahead and find another one and try to charge again. If you see a battery here and a battery percentage, it means that it's charging. If it was very low, it would mean that the device was under charge, and of course that was the issue. You don't need to get it to charge up again. The other thing that might be at fault is the adapter brick itself. Now, if your adapter brick is damaged, burnt, or of course melted the housing, or even if it looks fine, it might be a case where the adapter brick is damaged. It can also be the wrong voltage, so make sure it's the original adapter brick. For example here, make sure that the adapter brick as the name of the device, or of course at least the specifications for power for this device. So try a new adapter brick or another adapter brick. That's common. All right, so usually tablets in general uses these standard adapter bricks, so make sure it's the original. Look out for the specifications here that indicates how much wattage as well as how much amperage it's supposed to be getting. So for example here, this one says that it goes at output of 5 volts, 2 amps, and gives 10 watts. So anything that you're trying to power this with must match. All right, so go ahead and make sure you switch this out. Usually if it starts to charge again and you're seeing the battery icon and it's charging, it should be good again and you can power up after a while. So usually most of the times when it's not powering on, it is related to the power brick. All right, if that is out of the way, you're sure the device has a charge, but you're still not able to see anything from the device and it's not powering on, I want you to go ahead and identify your volume buttons. So here we have volume down, volume up at the top here. Make sure you identify them as you might be mixing them up. And this is power. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold volume down and power. Now this one works especially if there's nothing at all on the display. So you're going to hold, I'm just demonstrating here, volume down and power. You're going to press and hold. You're going to press and hold maybe for about 15 seconds. As soon as you see a logo flash on screen, you're going to go ahead and let go. So as soon as you see the logo flash on screen, any form of writing or logo, you're going to let go of the volume down and power button. Both must be pressed at the same time. And you're going to let go, and of course the device is going to power on in most cases, and you should be able to get the display back up and things should be running. I recommend that you try this at least 3 times. So that's volume down and power at the same time. You're going to hold and press. If that fails, guys, you're going to go ahead and you're going to get a SIM tool. So the SIM tool is the one that comes in your phone case. This is one, and you're going to use this particular SIM tool here. And you're gonna, if you don't have one of these, you can also use a paper clip. So it's gonna straighten out a paper clip. If you don't have a paper clip, you can also use a toothpick. Anything that's relatively firm and very fine. All right, so now you're gonna turn to the side of your device. You're gonna look out for a particular hole. If you look right here, guys, there is a hole here beside the power button. So power and the hole. Now this hole is a reset hole. You can refer to your manual to make sure it's actually the reset hole. So you're gonna go ahead, and once you do, you are going to get your SIM tool. And of course, if your tablet is a GSM tablet, meaning that it accepts a chip, you have to be careful, as this might be the mic port. Usually the reset hole is right beside the power. See, it has to do with reset. So you're gonna place this in. Sorry, forgive me, I'm doing this while the camera is on, so it's difficult to do. You're gonna go straight down and you're gonna press this button. You're gonna press for 10 to 15 seconds and you're gonna let go. Once you do that and the button is pressed, you should know it's been pressed, as it will be similar to a physical button press. And what should happen is that the device should come back up and it should be working again. Now, usually these are the tips that I employ in fixing the issue. Chances are that it should fix most problems. Another rare case is that the power button itself might be damaged, meaning that this button here is damaged in some cases. So for example, if this button were to fall out on some devices, you should be able to get it replaced. There's a sensor beneath here. As long as you keep the button, it should still press. However, you have to be careful with the power button, as if it's damaged, it will be very difficult for you to power on the device. But should this fall out, still try to use it to power the device on. You might have a case where you have to keep your device on and you can't allow it to run out of power, as your power button is defective. Also, be very careful that the kids do not damage these buttons, as they are very robust, but they can fall out. I've seen cases where they have fallen out, but still yet the button, depending on the design, can still be pressed. So be very careful not to expose the section, but if it's exposed, now in some cases it still can be pressed. Some people have done that and it's still able to press, so you have to be very careful. It gets very difficult if it's the power button, so we don't want a case where it's the power button, but still note that in some cases it can be pressed even if it falls out, or of course the button is not there, but not in all cases, so be very careful. All right, so if everything works out, you should have your device back up with those tips. If this was useful, please give your comments below, and as always, Ricardo Gardner from Blog Tech Tips saying bye until next time. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.